Starting your own business can be an amazing thing to do, but it can also be incredibly scary. If you've been dreaming of starting your own web design agency for a while, then you may have put months or even years of planning into it. But when the day finally comes when you've quit your job and you're ready to get started, it can be hard to know exactly where to start, and it can often feel overwhelming. In this video, I'm going to share 7 top tips that will not only help you get your new business off to the best possible start, but also give you some much needed structure and sanity too. Hi, thanks for joining. If you're new to this channel, I'm Rich Dean, a web designer and developer, former web agency owner, and author of the book series Start, Grow and Sell Your Web Design Agency. My goal is to help anyone looking to start, grow and sell an agency to save time, earn more money, avoid the conversation and pitfalls, and build a thriving and valuable business. Okay, so let's get into it, starting with number 1, treat it like it's your job. Okay, so let's get things started with probably one of the most basic and probably one of the most obvious points too, which is to just treat running your new business like any other job. When you start a new business of any kind, it can be easy to think that you need to somehow act in a completely different way. That might be true in some ways. You are now a business owner, and so you do have more responsibility. But it doesn't mean you need to become a completely different person or follow a completely different routine either. Now, that might seem counterintuitive, especially if you started your agency because you didn't want a job, but treating it like a job can give you an important sense of stability and structure. That can be vital for making your business function properly, as well as giving you some much needed sanity and clarity. So if you're feeling overwhelmed and wondering just how exactly you're going to get your new business off the ground, just treat it like any other job you've had. Put in the hours, set yourself some clear boundaries, and before you know it, you should start to feel settled into a healthy routine. And we're going to look at some more specific ways that you can do that shortly. Number 2, dress for success. There's a fairly well-known saying, dress for the job you want, not the one you have. I think this saying is especially true when you become a business owner. If you've been employed for a while, and especially if you've had to follow some kind of regimented dress code, then it's completely understandable to feel like starting your own business is a way of letting your hair down and saying goodbye to those stifling clothes. It might even be tempting to roll out of bed, pop open your laptop and work the rest of the day in your PJs, especially if no one's going to see you. But I think that's a huge mistake, and there are several reasons why I think dressing smart is just as important when you run a business, maybe even more so. The first is mindset. If you don't take what you wear seriously, then there's less chance that you'll take your business seriously, and it also means that other people probably won't take you seriously either. That can have a serious impact on your new business chances of success. This mindset shift is also important for how you view yourself. Dressing for the job you want means that you should now view yourself as the owner of a growing and successful business, and that should be reflected in what you wear. The second reason is preparedness. We're going to look at the importance of structure in a bit, but no matter how structured your business becomes, there will always be an element of spontaneity and unpredictability. Even if you think you've got a clear day with no meetings, you never know when a random client or new business prospect might want to jump on a quick call, and so you don't want to be caught scrambling around trying to find something decent to wear. Number 3, block out set hours. Okay, just before we get into this one, I need to ask you a really big favour. We're a fairly new channel, so it would really help us a lot if you could like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and also share this content with anyone else you think could benefit from it. It takes a lot of time to make these videos, so this will really help YouTube to recognise our content, and it will mean we can carry on making helpful videos just like this. Okay, thank you, and back into it. So one of the best things about starting and running your own web design agency is that you can work the hours that you choose. Whether that means splitting your working hours around your family or just working late at night because that's when you do your best work. But regardless of when you want to work, I think it's really important that you block out a set routine and stick to it. And again, there are a few reasons why. The first is structure. If you work random, unpredictable hours, then that can end up being incredibly chaotic, which probably isn't great for your mental health. The second is predictability. If you work a set routine, then your business will be more predictable. That will not only help you plan your time better, but it will also be good for anyone else connected to your business, like clients, partners, and maybe eventually employees. The third is around planning. If you know what hours you'll be working on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis, that means you'll be able to better plan your work and know how long projects will take, another vital element for your success with clients. The fourth is work-life balance, which is another vital aspect for your own mental health. If you work to a set routine, that will help you define clear boundaries between your work time and your personal time, which is really important in helping you to switch off. Number 4, plan your time productively. So once you've settled on the hours at your work, it's important to then plan your time so that you're as productive as possible. Now, that probably won't be easy when you're first starting out and just finding your feet, but it should get easier over time once you have a better understanding of all the tasks you'll be doing. That last part is actually really important though. If you're starting your agency after having worked in a very specific role, like a designer or developer, it can be very easy to make the mistake of thinking that all your time will simply be spent designing or developing websites. But you're now running a business, and so there are many other tasks that you'll need to spend time on. Things like meeting with new business prospects and clients, going to networking events or exhibitions, scoping and quoting new projects, responding to client emails, sending invoices and managing the finances of the business, working on the brand, website and marketing of your agency, and many more. The amount of time you spend on these tasks can vary week by week, but it can also be good to plan ahead and block out set times to do them. So for example, after a busy week working on client projects, it can be good to spend Fridays catching up on admin or working on your own website or marketing activities. Number 5, get out there and meet people. So it is true that there are plenty of opportunities to generate new business online, but when you're running any business, even a web design agency, there's still no replacement for just getting out there and meeting people face to face. And again, there are many reasons why. First, business success is as much about serendipity as it is about being good at what you do. So many new clients and projects will just come from being in the right place at the right time or knowing the right people. Chance encounters and random introductions can very often lead to new projects and fruitful long-term relationships, months or even years down the line. But you won't get those opportunities being cooped up working from home every day. The second reason is that it's just healthy. As human beings, we all need human contact. If you work on your own, and especially if you just work from home, then it can be easy to start feeling isolated and lonely, especially if you transition from being employed and working alongside many other people. Fortunately, there are plenty of places you can go that are usually accessible and either free or low cost. Things like local networking events like BNI or your local Chamber of Commerce, events and exhibitions, co-working or shared office spaces, or local industry Facebook groups with real-world meetups. Even if it just gets you out of the house or office for a few hours and lets you chat with other like-minded people, it can be well worth it. Plus, you never know where those conversations may lead. Number 6, take each week as it comes. As I mentioned at the start of this video, when you're just starting a new business, it can be easy to feel overwhelmed and to not know where to start. To be honest, this isn't always limited to when you're just starting out either. It can happen at any stage in your business. So I think one of the best ways to deal with this is to break everything down into weeks and then just take each week as it comes. If you have a big project that you're working on, work out a timing plan and then just focus on specific tasks that you want to get done each week. If you know you need to create your own portfolio website, but you're struggling to squeeze it in around paid client projects, just block out a small amount of time each week and commit to just doing what you can. If you hit a quiet period and don't have any work, don't panic. Use that time productively to work on your own projects that will get your agency out there and generate new business, and treat them like proper projects too. No 2 weeks will ever be the same, and some weeks will be busier than others. But if you can just take each week as it comes and focus on the tasks at hand, you'll be surprised at just how much progress you'll make. Number 7, learn from mistakes but celebrate the wins. Running a business is never easy, and even the most seasoned business owners still mess up surprisingly frequently. We're only human, so if you make mistakes when you're just starting out, and you will, don't beat yourself up too much. It's all part of the journey, and it's also how we learn and grow. You can learn a lot from books and even watching videos like this, but nothing beats real-world experience. But you also need to celebrate the wins as well though, whether that's winning a new client or project, or figuring out something small, or just making it to the end of another week. Always make sure you celebrate your achievements. It doesn't matter how small they might seem. As Team GB Olympic coach Dave Brailsford once said, success is about the aggregation of marginal gains. What I think he meant by that is that success isn't always about the big wins. It's often about the culmination of lots of small achievements. Okay, so hopefully you found this video useful. If you've enjoyed it, then please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you'd like more tips and insights for how to start your business, check out my book series, Start, Grow and Sell Your Web Design Agency, which you can buy from Amazon now, and I'll share a link in the description below. And if you want even more insight into how to actually start an agency, be sure to check out this video here. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.